But generally speaking, it's important to see the pattern before jumping to conclusions, right? So if you look around and really take in the environment and you see that moss growth on one side of the tree and not the other, then it's telling you something about sunlight, right? And that's really the goal. Knowing, rises in the east and sets in the west. And, we know that the southern side of most, whether it's a building or a forest, right, it's going to get the most sun, and we're still talking about the northern hemisphere. And it's those factors is what allows you to generally say that, okay, moss equals north, right? Okay. So now that you've been heading north for a while, according to the moss compass, you're getting thirsty, and you happen to come across a stream, all right? So do you A, bend down and drink from the stream, or B, dig a hole near the water's edge instead?
Where am I?
You basically found a stream.
Okay.
You're heading north, and you can either drink directly from the water in the stream or maybe dig a hole at the edge of the stream.
I'm going to dig. I hate to say I broke this every single day in Alaska, but I felt a little safer way up there. But I'm going dig.
I mean, you are at the top of the stream up there. I mean, right? I mean, by the time you're in like Canada or even Colorado, a lot of stuff is peed in the water by the time it gets to those points.
It is 80% urine at that point.
Yeah, so I think when you're in the Arctic, it's safe to say that, it's probably pretty safe water to drink. I mean, is that true? Did you find out that that's somewhat true or what?
Yes, we had zero problems with that. Now, there was one point where there was a beaver dam upriver, so we avoided that stream and just simply went to one that was coming off a glacier.
There you go. Yeah, and you're drinking direct, right? Or you're probably heating it up first, right?
No, we were just drinking direct.
Just drinking straight. Okay.
Yeah. The river system we were in, which is called the Noatak River System, is the only river system in North America that has been unaltered by humans. So it's about as pristine as they get.
Wow.
So yeah, no problems.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you chose wisely. B, dig a hole near the water's edge. And the reason being is by digging the hole and letting it naturally fill is a filter in itself, rather than drinking directly from the stream. So I think that's pretty straightforward.
Cool.
If you're in really high elevation, like we kind of hit on, or you're at the top of the world, the water is probably somewhat pure. But in this case, you're not. So, if you have to do a makeshift filter, digging a hole next to the stream is a good start. And then, of course, you could stop and build a fire and boil it and really be safe. But it's kind of a hasty, quick filter, digging a hole. You can also use your sock and other pieces of clothing to soak up water, and then that can be the filter in itself. So bottom line is you manage to get a little bit of a drink, and then you continue on your way. Suddenly, a wild boar is now charging you. Okay.
Oh.
So, do you A, kick the boar in the face, or B, let's make this a little more entertaining. You happen to be you're obviously in a forest near some trees. So you quickly jump up, grab a limb, and pull yourself up into a tree. So kick it in the face or jump up and climb a tree.
Well, since I can't guillotine it, I think I'm going to choose tree.
Tree, yes. Boar, what they call the hood, its head and its hood, which is the thicker coat, the shoulders, the neck. I mean, you're talking about some bullets can't penetrate that, right?
That's a tough animal.
It's a tough animal, and kicking it's going to do you no good. And
you're going to break your foot and piss off a boar.
That's right. So, it takes a powerful round to penetrate that cape in the head of a boar, if that's all you have to aim at. Now, of course, its belly and all of those other softer areas that you would be aiming for with a rifle, you're basically going to be avoiding the cape. So anyway, yes, good idea. Climb the tree. So, boars also, it's good to keep in mind, boars can get, 6 feet-ish. So they can get big, right?
That's
so
a big
then
animal.
you need to make sure you go up the tree high enough so that it can't still reach you.
Okay.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. All right. So the boar runs off because it's bored. It couldn't get to you and it couldn't chew on your feet. But now you're unsure of which way north is. So now we need to figure out which way north is again. So do you A, head in the direction of the side of the trees with the most branches and leaves and overall growth? Or B, head in the opposite direction in which you see the most branches, leaves, and overall growth?
To head north?
To head north, yeah.
I'm going to go with the least branches and trees.
So you're going to head in the opposite direction.
Opposite direction.
Okay.
Of all the branches and trees.
Got it. Okay, so that is correct. Were you just guessing, or did you know that?
I guessed based on the sun. Based on the direction of the sun.
Yeah. All right, so yes, B, head in the opposite direction in which you see the most branches, leaves, and overall growth. So people, next time you walk outside, look at a tree, not just from one angle, look from all angles, and you will notice that trees, no matter how symmetrical you think they look at first, they actually grow lopsided, okay? And the reason being is because of the sun, like you mentioned, right?
That's a good tip.
We're all growing towards the sun's movement, right? And you have to keep that in mind. And you'll notice the same with trees and bushes and anything else that relies on the sun. So because of that lopsidedness, the side with the most branches and leaves and growth is the southern side of the tree. Okay? Because that's like we talked about. Rises in the east, sets in the west. So the southern side of everything or anything is going to get the most sun. And so naturally, that's going to be the side that it leans towards, which means the opposite is north. Or at least it's a general rule, once again.
All right.
And then when you go to the southern hemisphere, things may change.
Flip it.
Okay.
Yes.
You continue on your way, and you see a cell phone. Now you see the cell phone now has service. Sorry.
Nice.
Do you A, text message several people and let them know where you are? Or B, call someone and let them know you need help?
I'm going to do text message because that is more likely to get out than a call, I think.
That is, I'm with you. SMS, the green bubbles, if you're an iPhone user, green either means you didn't go through or it got sent as SMS. And SMS has the ability to get out. It can travel, and even remote areas. But a phone call will ensure that there is a sense of urgency and that you actually got that voice to voice. So your battery is full, right? Because you kept it off. You turn it on, it has no signal. Now it has a signal, and you have the ability to call someone. Getting that voice to voice and getting that sense of urgency would be a good idea because in text, sometimes you lose that.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, both of these are kind of correct, but I would say your battery and signal dictates. If you had low battery, then yeah, SMS all day long because that's not going to use up that much battery to send a lot of exclamation marks and the word fuck, right?
Yeah.
But you got lots of battery, you might as well call and say, hey, I need help. I don't know where I'm at. I've got a head injury. I think I've been going north because the Moss was talking to me down the road there. And anyway, yeah. So if you have the ability to call someone, you should and get that. So let's go with B. All right.
Okay.
Go with B.
I can see that. I can see that argument. I like it.
It's the text is, someone may not see it for a couple of hours and that would suck for you, right?
Yes.
You're listening to Can You Survive This Podcast? Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and share on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.